What's up, guys? Finally back from a week-long vacation in Florida. Had a pretty good time. So I'll jump on this stuff right here, get some stuff knocked out. It's a little less than a month till that show I was talking about. That's 23rd today, 22nd, 23rd. So got a lot of stuff to do before then. So hopefully I can make some progress, make it to that show. But just gonna dive into everything, see what we can do. There's the cam sensor way down in there. What else I make with this? I'm trying to remember. That's the bolt right there. I believe that's a 10. Yeah, it should be a 10 right there. So I guess I'm gonna pull that out. Try to slap this new O-ring on and see if that will fix the issue. Alright, so this thing's got an O-ring on it. Just kind of wondering why in the world you change this why are you changing the O-ring out? So the way this cam sensor seals is an O-ring in the block. But if that O-ring leaks, you won't know it because the sensor's about a quarter mile long. And it'll leak behind the block and in between the, inside the block and the transmission housing, kind of right there. So you can't tell what it is. You think, oh, my rear main seal's leaking. Pretty normal leak, pretty common leak. So, oh, I guess I'll change my rear main seal out. So I've already pulled this transmission out once, maybe twice. Thinking, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and just pull this transmission out, make sure the rear main seal's leaking, slap an E1 in, no big deal. Well, I pulled it out, nothing happened. There wasn't any leaks. I ran it without the transmission attached or anything, revved it up, all that stuff, videoed it, cleaned everything up. Never did find a leak. I mean, this thing's been leaking ever since the first time I started, I think. I mean, I know for sure if I get it tuned, which we ran it pretty hard when I got it tuned, but put on the trailer, as soon as I put it on the trailer, I noticed, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's got a leak. So I was thinking rear main seal. Open that bolt again. But then the more I read on the LS pages and stuff like that on Facebook, I realized that this O-ring that seals up in here can make you think that it's a rear main seal leak, but it's actually just this O-ring going bad. Because you just can't see where it's coming from. So I've been doing this for a while. I should have done it way sooner, but here we are. That O-ring doesn't look bad. So there's a little bit of oil above it, but not much. There's some trash right there on top of it. So I got the new O-ring. I'm going to swap it out. Maybe it'll fix it. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I can't really say for sure, but it's worth a shot. The easiest way I found to change O-rings, you just got to be kind of careful with the little hose pick. Try not to scratch the sealing surface, but you can get up under there real easy like that. There you go. Roll it off like that. Boom. The O-ring's off. Go ahead and clean that up real good. All the sealing surfaces, everything, sensor housing, everything. You get the best chance it can of sealing, I reckon. Okay. Just that O-ring didn't look torn. It's not torn or anything that I can see. Wipe it off a little bit and look at it some more, but I was expecting it to be ripped or something, honestly. So there could be something inside that block making it not seal off, I guess. It's very possible. I got pretty high oil pressure too, so Either way. This is a new O-ring. Ordered it last November, so it's been a while. Honestly, thought it'd be hard to get to that sensor than it is. I mean, it's in a bad spot, but I guess when you get the hood and fender, everything off, it's not too bad to get to. All right, first step, cover it in grease. Second step, throw it on the dirty floor, wipe it off again, new grease. All right, throw this thing back on there. Have to drop this time. It probably look worse than it did last time. It's probably pouring out now. So I messed with it. Hopefully not. Alright. That seal does seem a little bit fatter. That's because it's new and not compressed. It's probably what it is, but man, I hope this fixes it. Alright, tip slide this thing back in there. I'm not covered in crap. Wiring all in the way. Oh. Popping in there almost seems too easy. I don't know. I don't know about that. Don't know. Not much else I can do about that. There's that. Oh, let's get down yonder. Maybe that'll fix the old leak, who knows? Worth a shot, I reckon. So it was a terrible shot. You can see this is kind of a bit of a rascal to get to. It's way back there. Beside that old sensor, so it's hard to get to, but we finished everything off. This is definitely the time to do it. Doing a little bit of work on the tubs here. So right there, went ahead and welded some flanges in. So I've seen a lot of trucks, lower trucks with rock lights lately. I think it looks kind of cool. So I went ahead and put these in here just in case I want to do that later on. I can build me a little bracket to bolt to that and have it angled however I want to. And I cut these washers in half. That'll be a good thing to tie the wire down with. So have a rock light here, wire tied down there, rock light here, have the wires run this way. Have a hole drilled, probably at the back. I drilled a hole in the back on the other one so it'd be kind of tucked up in there, kind of towards the back of the cab there, where it won't be as noticeable. So this side, I already threw some self-etch primer on it. So, look halfway decent. Actually, I already painted it but had to clean it up, go back over it with welds, because not too many of them old Miller lattes, you know what I mean? But got this side done, clean it up, acetone, and put those some more self etch on that side. Doing quite a bit of jumping around here. Got I guess about half that bottom side of that fender. Got it self etch primer. These brackets over here had a little rust on them. Sand them down a little bit. Put a little OSPO on them that'll neutralize everything, all the rust and stuff, and help clean it up. I had already OSPO'd this rig right here. This is the battery spacer that I built, or the battery holder spacer, I should say, that goes to the fender, like that. Get that cleaned up pretty good with the flat disc, 320 and some acetone. Throw some self etch on it. Get it coated. Here's the overflow canister bracket that I built. I don't know what happened, but the paint didn't react very well, so got it cleaned up, 320 sanded down, put some self etching primer on there, and hopefully the paint will act right this time. I guess while those parts are drying a little bit, I'm getting ready to put the paint on those. I will work on the inner panel. It's on the passenger fender, or no, it's the driver fender right here. Driver fender, inside panel, still pretty jagged. Mark it all out, clean it up, make it more rounded, kind of like this one is. This one's kind of, so the corners are kind of rounded, makes it a little better, and obviously you don't want it sharp, so you cut your fingers on it, so this gets cleaned up. There's the driver's side, got it cleaned up, got all these edges smoothed up, a lot more than they were. Feels a little better than being jagged. When you go back cutting your hand, put it under there. Hit with some 120 on the DA. Self etch on there, so keep it from rusting. Bracket spacer, been sitting here about an hour and a half, something like that. Some good old D1635, semi-gloss, throw it on there, and hopefully that will act right this time. You're not going for full coverage on the first coat. You're trying to go, kind of like that. You got some color on there, but you're not covering the whole thing up. Do that. A couple of light coats and a medium wet coat on the last one. That'll be good to go. Let that sit for a few minutes and hit it again. I reckon I'm gonna call it for the night, but got 3 good coats on these pieces right here. Seems to be working better than it did last time, so hopefully that paint will stay on there pretty good. The old battery bracket. Clean it up. What's that? The metal was pretty pitted, so not with the greatest, but I think it'll be just fine for what I'm doing with it. I'm not sure which video this is going to end up in, but I got new seals, new rubbers and stuff for these doors. And this is all, the paint's pretty good on them, but if I want to paint the rest of the truck, I might as well paint these. So I got some Summit Gloss Black stuff, single stage, same kind of paint that I have on the rest of the car, except for gloss black, which may look a little different. I don't know. This is all kind of a semi-gloss satin black. I think that gloss, I think it looks fine, honestly. But like this one here, see all this rust on this one. So they're 2 different doors, different trucks, so it makes sense, I guess. But I'm gonna take these apart off camera, go ahead and sand them down, get them cleaned up, and I'll probably end up priming them when I prime the tubs, the front fenders or something. I'll probably just do that at the same time. Yep, shouldn't be too bad. Got that nut right there. This pivot's on. Take that nut and that spring off. I'm probably gonna mark where the threads are on it. Or count the threads or something, so I know how far to tighten it back down on there. And then looks like these 2, I like a self-tapper almost, honestly. I'm not sure, but yeah, those 2 bolts right there, 2 screws. So take those 2 off, or take those 3 things off, pull that whole thing out. And then it's got this, I guess it's probably stainless maybe. This stainless thing right here, I think that just slides off. I don't really know. Oh, that's for that. Okay, so that's just for that right there. So that just slides off, I think. Looks like it's just kind of slid in place right there. kind of like the rest of this video, it's all random. So I made a little bit of progress off camera. I got these cleaned up. These are the brackets for the bottom of the fender, front fenders. Got this cleaned up. Got all the, Osphode them. Sound down with some 120. Threw some primer on there, just keep it from rusting. So I actually put the permanent paint on there. I disassembled these. Got all the glass out. Got the rubber gasket off, all that stuff. Went ahead and Osphode these. Which one you can see, this right here is pretty. These are pretty clean. This one, I don't think I had much rust on. I might have 1 or 2 spots of small rust, but got all that cleaned up. That one was a little bit worse. Had some pretty good rust right there. I mean, this door is probably, say it's 30 years old, 40 years old, 35, something like that. So I had some rust right here, rust right there, a little bit of rust down there, but all that's good. Got all that sanded down, coated with Osphode. So I'll let that hang out for, I don't know, I guess later tonight maybe, or probably tomorrow. I might try to put some primer on there. And this big piece right here, this is the passenger side panel for the inside of there. So I got these edges, smooth them up a little more. They're not perfect, but they're probably good enough. Hit them with some 120, got all the big rust off of it. Had some good streaks in it. Get them some Osphode, so let that sit till tomorrow probably. We have to prime it. And then work on the list. I got a pretty good list of stuff to do before that show, if I can make it. We'll see what happens. Guess I'm gonna continue on the random project list. So one of the projects I've been putting off for a while is seam sealing the inside of this. The old stuff, I'll try to bring it here in a second. It's got a bunch of cracks and stuff in it, and while I got it apart, might as well go ahead and fix it. We're not gonna have to worry about it rusting out. I'm gonna pull this off. Set it to the side. I have to get this done. So I have to get this right here, the seam sealer, done before I can final mount that. So I'm gonna seam seal this, throw a little paint in there, just so it will be hidden kind of, whatever. It won't cover, just see a bunch of white in there, because this cab was originally white, so there's a lot of white paint in there already. So I'll scuff it up, put some seam sealer on the spots that needs it probably. And then after that I can permanently mount that. I don't know what you want to call it, windshield tray, whatever that thing's called. I can permanently mount that. I don't have to worry about any of this right here being inside here. Yep. Some hold this a little bit. Bring in here, see? You can see the cracks and stuff. May not be an issue right now, but I'd much rather fix it right now. I don't have to worry about this thing rusting out, because this seam right here, that's one of the seams that was rusted out on that old cab of mine. So if I can avoid that, that would be great. That's what I'm using. It's just some U-pole stuff. This other O'Reilly's, I think it's like 20 bucks a thing probably, so it's the same stuff I used on the cab over here on this seam. On the back seams right there when I did all that, so I took all the old seam sealer out, redid all seam sealer up here. That's what I used on it up there too, so seems to work pretty good, goes on pretty good, so should fix all those cracks, fill them up pretty easily. Here we go, got her scuffed up a little bit with some 180. Blew it out real good, wiped down with acetone. So, got that looking, I guess not looking. I got it where it needs to be though, so it'll stick all down through there best I could. So, all right, so let that sit for a while. Make sure the acetone's dried on everything. It's a crisp 70 degrees right now in South Arkansas, which I'm not complaining at all, but this stuff right here's been in my truck all night. This stuff's pretty thick. So I warmed it up, I had to kind of warm it up, figured do the right thing, and put it under my gut while I scroll TikTok on the toilet for 30 minutes. She's good to go now. So get the old caulk gun, poke a hole in there, start squirting her on there. The tip screwed on, it's already got a hole in it. I guess I'm going there and squirt it in there. I would definitely recommend wearing gloves. This stuff sticks to everything and it will make an absolute mess. So if you're gonna do a seam or something, make sure you tape off around it so you don't get it everywhere. This right here doesn't matter. I'm not trying to make it look pretty, so I'm trying to splooge it off in there, rub it around, get it sealed off. That's all I'm worried about. There it is. Got it all covered up. So I wasn't trying to make it look pretty. Just want to seal it up. That's all I was worried about. So look in there, there's a little bit of surface rust already in there. So I guess I'm gonna have to get in there with some sandpaper or something, clean it up, put some rust converter in there before I seal everything, put everything back together. So now that's all sealed up, I'll let it cure for a while. Moved over here to this. Like this right here was way smaller. So I got the carbide bit. Clean all that up real good. Got it pretty smooth, especially on this bottom part. I want to hold the water in there, holding water, mud, whatever, and rusting out. So got that all cleaned up. So I wanted it bigger mainly because if I need to line the fender, need to move it around, whatever, I don't have enough moving in this hole right here. I can drill that hole out a little bit bigger or use this right here to slot it or something so I can move it. And I have plenty of room to be able to put a bolt in there too. It won't be hard to get to. Should make it easier. Got this tub pretty cleaned up. Got all the surface rust from it sanded off there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some OSPO on there just to make sure if there's any rust to get killed. But I'm put over here in the neglected side of the shop, as you can tell. Looking rough over here, but so I still have to clean all these welds up into like garbage, but I'm still waiting on the belts for the little air sander I got. So I guess I'll go ahead and put some OSPO on this thing. I'll start playing with this one, I guess. Doing some welding on the tubs. Got a million little holes in this thing, so you can go ahead and already start on a couple of them, but I'm gonna weld these holes up because I don't really plan to mount anything on this side. If I do, I mean, I can always drill a hole, put a ribbon up, because I doubt any of them are gonna line up with all this stuff right here if I need to put an air box or whatever over here. So I'm gonna weld these holes up. And like these big holes, I could cut a plate out and weld all that stuff up, but I'll probably fill that hole in. So all these big squares and stuff, I mean, you gotta know when to stop. Okay, if I do that, if I start building these pieces right here, this fender right here is gonna take me 2 weeks just to fill all those holes in probably, because I'm slow, I guess, but I mean, I think it'll be just fine just filling all these holes in, make it look a little bit better. So that's what I'm gonna do. So a lot of these welded up. I welded up one of these big holes, just welded up. Sucked to do that, so I looked around, I had some washers that are almost the same size, so I'm gonna attempt to get that and try to put it from the bottom. Use hose pick like that on the bottom, and pick it up through there and try to weld it on there. Well, about an hour till I have to leave the house, but got all that stuff cleaned up. So it'd be nice if I could at least spot prime that, sand all that down, clean it up. It'd be pretty sweet if I could throw some primer on at least nothing else on the outer side of the tub. I still got to clean up a lot on the inside, but the more I can keep from rusting, the better I'll be, because fighting rust sucks. It's bad enough having to paint it, but having to spend 30 minutes every time you mess with it trying to clean it up sucks even worse. So that's gonna be all for this video. It's kind of jumping around, kind of sporadic. That's kind of how it goes sometimes. With the way the weather and stuff's been lately, I can't do a whole lot of priming on major stuff. It's been so humid and raining and stuff, so you gotta do what you can while you can. So make a little bit of progress. Hopefully the next one will be a little smoother and be a little better content, hopefully. Thank y'all for watching.